Heard a jingle on the radio, but call up the Dog Whisperette. It don't matter the behavior of the breed, same day transformation guaranteed. Miss Alisa bitch, trainer in the league, number one in training bitch to be the best that they can be.
Hello, radio world.
And this is Make It Make Sense with the Dog Whisperette and my co-host.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. I'm excited. How are you today?
I'm beautiful. I'm
Great.
wonderful.
You are beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm excited. I'm excited to bring this podium to the voiceless. I'm excited to give the voiceless a voice.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many out there that have a lot to say, but just don't have a podium to say it. And we're frustrated as dog owners, as rescues. I've worked with rescues. I'm working with rescues. I've been a foster, and it's getting overwhelming. And we need a voice.
Yeah, it is.
And
It's a great platform for
it. Absolutely. And I want to thank Alton Park Development
Yes.
Corporation, WPTP 100.1 FM, for this platform. You know, this was just put in my lap, and it gave me an opportunity to give back to the people.
Yes. I know
who-
I'm excited to sit on the side of you.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm excited for you to sit.
Thank you.
And you want to announce your name and
Hey, I am Denise Dave. I am not a dog whisperer, though. But I will learn something from her. I'm excited to be on the side of you, like I said.
absolutely. And, you know, today I want to start with, you know, empowering with knowledge, and then empowering with love and understanding and no judgment. You know, we as a rescue, and I work rescue, it's a dog biting world. I will put that gently.
Hey, that was gentle.
You know, they deal with a lot more than what I have to, because at least I have the owners there who have some control. And when you bring in, you go get there's a stray dog on the side of the road. You don't know how that dog's going to act. You don't, and they're not professionally trained to deal with something like that, but they do it. They take it on and they do it, and they don't get the recognition of that.
I mean, so like you don't know, like you pick up a dog on the side of the road. You know, how can you tell if that dog is? I mean, one of the one I guess you can tell because it's on the side of the road alone. But that's wouldn't it be trauma there as well for the dog?
Oh, absolutely. He's been abandoned. There's abandonment, and then insecurities have set in, because depending on how long that dog has been on the side of the road, is, you know, how much fear is being set in, and shame on you. To me, that's like leaving your child. You know, I've seen videos of the dogs chasing the car as they're driving away, and how could you just drive away from? But some people can.
Yeah.
You know, and I say don't try to understand the minds of crazy people, because you'd have to be a little bit touched to be able to do something like that, in my opinion.
My cousin, he visited us yesterday, and he has a dog. I forgot the breed, but his dog's name is Luke, and he don't like for us to call it a dog. He likes for us to call him the dog is his son.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, "This not a dog, it's my son."
Well, what's the behaviors of the dog? Does he?
Oh, he's a great dog.
Okay.
That's a great.
A lot
dog.
of times when we take them in and we baby them, it sets up a lot of insecurities, because we're not that leader, you know, and especially when you bring in, and this is something that really needs to be brought to light. When you bring in a dog that's got insecurities and has had a bad life, don't coddle that dog. That dog does not need to be coddled, because you're calling those insecurities. You're agreeing with that. So it needs a strong leader to help it overcome. You know, if we're in that low frequency like they are, in that, you know, unbalanced frequency, I should say, how are they ever going to learn to let it go and to live? You know, they live for the day once they get rid of the past.
Gotcha.
And only till then. And
you can assert that in life itself.
It is. It's a beautiful balance between the dog behaviors and our behaviors. You know,
I agree.
It's just stop babying them. You know, that's the bottom line, because you're not doing them any favors. Now, you bring in a stray dog who's had a great past, who's, you know, balanced, then you can baby them. And I say it's only temporary that you don't baby them, because once they learn to let that past go and to live for the day, they live for the day. They don't think about tomorrow. They think about when's my next treat or when's my next
So
meal.
So when you find a dog, when you rescue a dog, what are the first things that you do?
First, segregate them because you don't know what diseases that they're going to bring into your home and your pack.
Mm-hmm.
So you segregate, and then you take them in, you get them vetted, first. And if you don't have the money, and that's the problem, there's so many strays out there, and not enough people that have the money to take care of them, have the home to bring them in. And, we just have to kind of turn a blind eye and just keep on driving. And I've had to do that myself, and it breaks my heart. But, I have limited space. It's not that I don't have the money. I just have limited space. And, I already have 3, and I live in an RV. So, there's no way. There is a way, but it would be hard.
Mm-hmm.
But that, and that's the problem. Like I said, when a dog is thrown out, it becomes a snowball effect. Because it affects the person who gets them. Then you got to try to find a rescue that's going to take them. And right now, the rescues are full. I've got 12 dogs right now that just from two people I know need no home.
What you suggest we do? Like,
that's why I'm on here.
Hey, there it is. There it is.
That's
there
exactly why we come together as a community. Is what we do. What else can we do? If we don't, who will? That's the bottom line. If we don't, even if you can't bring them in, donate to your shelters, volunteer at your shelters, foster. Fostering. You might have them in your home 2-3 weeks, and then there's long enough to get them acclimated, to get them all their shots, and to get them desensitized, and to and that's what we really, really love foster homes, because that's what they offer. They offer that shelter. They offer that love. And, a lot of rescues, they pay for the dog food. They pay for anything that the dog needs while they're in your care. So you're really out nothing but your time and your, and
space.
That's it. Your time and your space.
Tell me, how did you come up with the Dog Whisperette? Because like when I hear the Dog Whisperer, it's like, is a communication between you and the dogs? Is that what that means?
That's exactly what it means. That I understand their behaviors. I understand what makes them tick. I understand how to change the behaviors. And yes, they do. When they come in, I read their energy.
Wow.
And they read my energy as well.
How old were you when you decided to if it's something you wanted to do this as a child?
Yes. I just wanted to be a dog trainer. I never dreamed I would be a dog behaviorist and doing it in one day.
And that's a big difference between a behaviorist and a trainer.
Yeah, obedience trainer. Absolutely. That's just your basic sit, stay, and that's a good base for me to build on when I come in, because they already have that in place. And, that tells me that they've had some formal training, which makes it a little bit easier for them to connect with me. But most of the time, what I do is I go into the ones who I'm their last resort. You don't know how many that it's either me. If I can't change them, they got to go.
Wow. So when you would say go where?
Shelters.
Okay.
Hopefully people get desperate. That's, the reality of it. You get desperate and you just get rid of them any way you can. And so then we're left to pick up the pieces, the fosters and the rescues and the shelters. And because we wanted that dog as a puppy, or we wanted that dog, but it didn't behave in the way we thought it should. And this is honest to God. We had one person bring back a dog because it snored, returned it to the
Oh wow! I never heard a dog snore.
No,
yes I have. Yes I have.
Meet a pit bull.
Yes I have. Yes, and it was my dog pit bull. It was snoring. Yeah.
Yes, they're that. But that's some of the once you commit to that dog, that should be a lifelong commitment. Not that you have that opportunity to give it back. For simple reasons like that. And a lot of reasons that dogs are returned is simply because they can't walk on a leash. And you think, oh, that's something that, is simple, but it's not. Because walking on the leash beside you is the first step in establishing yourself as a calm and confident leader. It's also the first way in establishing yourself as an incompetent leader,
Mm.
because where the dog is positioned in the walk is the position that you gave that dog. So if that dog's in front of you, you gave that dog the leadership role. And dogs, they don't want that.
Sleepy. You sleepy.
They do not want that role. They don't want to have to. It's like asking a child to protect you, to take on that responsibility. And they get bitter.
Mhm.
They get bitter because they have to protect you. And they're always on guard,
Go. We call it on go.
on go.
Yeah.
They're always on go because we've asked them to do that.
Mhm.
And like I said, it's just as simple as a healthy walk. It also relieves the mental energy. A lot of people don't realize the mental energy, calming the mental energy. Calm minds, calm lives.
I like that when you said that. Yeah.
It's so much more important than purging out physical energy. Because just like with us, if our mind is not calm, we don't rest.
Oh,
We stay on what'd you say?
on go.
On go. We stay on go. And
Stay
then
on
we
go.
release that energy in unhealthy ways
Mhm.
because our mind is not calm and we're not thinking. That's the same way with your animals. Your dog, I'm not sure about cats, they're a whole different breed. That's a whole different ball game right there. But giving them puzzles, giving them little jobs, like pick a hand, find it. You wouldn't believe how much that brings out the mental energy. And I'm one of these who I look for the cheapest way out. Because I spent Zeus, I guess you met him on my last show. He's a grazer, which means he goes and he'll eat anything in the yard. Sticks, I pulled out glass, and we got black walnuts, which is very, very toxic to a dog. So how, got to stay till the end. I'll give you my tip because I've spent hundreds on chew toys and bones and pig ears to no avail. One simple thing redirected him. So you got to stay till the end to find out. But like it's something you already have in your home. And that's what the way I like to do it. If I can find simple ways around and simple, inexpensive ways, it's just like when you have a dog who's reactive. If you put a bowl down and you put a treat in that bowl, you teach the dog that the treat's under the bowl. The dog's going to push that bowl around and it's going to redirect. So when somebody comes to the door, and this is tried and true, I have done this with my customers or my clients, I should say. They're more focused. They get so hyper focused on the door and hyper focused on the bowl that it changes the habits.
How long does it take you to, first of all, realize the different behaviors in the dog, and how long does it take you to fix it?
Usually a couple of hours.
What?
In one day.
Wow.
But it's changing you to change them. And I'll be honest with you. When I go in, I already know what to expect. It's your lack of knowledge. It's the conditioning that's been brought into your pack that we have rose-colored glasses. So we don't see our habits that we've instilled into them or that we've allowed them to develop. And that develops at a young age. So when they're jumping at a puppy stage, it's so cute until they get bigger. And the paw, I do not like teaching your dog to shake because that's teaching them to be reactive with their paws. So that's when you're going to get scratched. That's when the arms are going to get messed up, because you've allowed that. You've allowed the jumping. Redirect that at an early age. And that's why I do puppy training on here and give puppy tips. Because it's the first 4 months is so crucial in starting your dog in a healthy energy and healthy habits. And, like I said, I've done 12 dogs at one time. 12 dogs. Pick out the instigator of the pack and pick out the humans. Change that dynamic and the rest of the pack just falls into place. So when I come in and train, I don't take your dogs separate and train them separately. I train you all together as one because it's a balanced pack. And so I'm mobile, and I believe, the habits are set in your home. They're not set outside your home. So you take your dog off. Say your dog is reactive to the neighbor's dog at the fence. So we're going to send our dog off for training. Dog comes back. The fence is still there, and the dog is still there. So what has that accomplished?
Nothing wasted money.
$1,000 out of your
Mhm,
pocket. You don't know how many that I have had to go behind and retrain. And they're like, wow, because they don't get to be included in that training too, when they're sent away. And you don't know how your dog is being treated.
Yeah.
At least when I come
Wow.
to you, you are right there,
Yeah,
you're
see.
with me, and a lot of trainers, and we've had this documented, they starve the dogs so that they'll be more motivated. This
do
happened in
something to
Cleveland,
make it eat.
actually.
Oh, yeah.
They found many bodies of this trainers in this trainer's home, where they had starved them, because some trainers believe that the more hungry they are, the more treat motivated they will be. And that's not true. You get the
That
right
sounds
treat.
terrible.
You get the
That
right
sound like
treat.
abuse.
Unfortunately, it
Mhm.
happens more than you think. And a lot of people use brute force for submission.
And
I
see,
use redirection for submission.
I'm glad you said that because growing up, you have pit bulls, and we had them to protect the home,
Yes.
but we taught them to be aggressive and with brute treatment, like like making them growl, like shaking them.
Yes.
It was to me, it was a form of aggravation. Like the dog was being aggravated.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So, and you can't have both. Like if you want a protector, you can't have him going out meeting the public, and because you're going to get him desensitized to people, and you don't want that. You got him for protection. He's with you. He doesn't go meet other people. He does. It's kind of a secluded relationship you would have with that dog. But as a leader, even if you do that, you say who comes in and out of your home. So that that's the key, is you allow who comes in, not them. And that we do that a lot. We somebody knocks on the door, we let our dogs run straight to that door, bark, 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 bark.
Mhm.
So when that door's open, energy's building up the whole time. So when the door's open, guess what? The energy's got to come out. Who's the target? The person behind that comes in through that door. So now you're going to get jumped on, or the dog's going to run out the door. That happens a lot because we didn't calm the energy before the other energy entered. Because another energy is entering into their space. You got to take control of that energy, or you're going to lose that energy. And it's just as simple as giving them guidance. Quit letting them run to that door. They are not the leader of the pack. You are. That's you. Go to the door calmly, because we like to scream, yeah, stop it. Yeah, and I've been guilty of it, because that's just our natural response. It's because they've amped our energy up, so we're going to match it. Instead of taking a breath, calm mind, calm lives.
I like that.
Taking a breath. But we take a breath, we relax, and we calmly walk to the door. We turn toward them. Never turn your back on them. It's like a child. When you turn your back, they're there. You walk them back and you tell them to sit. You may have to do it 5 or 6 times, but they're going to get what you're doing is you're just changing that habit that you've let them build up. Change that habit. Back them away, calmly, stay. And then you back to the door, because don't take your eyes off of them. But as you're back and you're still, you got your hand out, tell them to stay, because you're giving them guidance. Because even our energy amps up when somebody knocks on the door, even if we know they're coming. Because if you're like me, I don't get a lot of company. And that's hard to train your dogs as well when you don't get a lot of company. But what you can do is have each other knocking on the door, because you're just wanting to desensitize them to that knock. You're wanting them to realize the knock doesn't necessarily mean you run to the door or you run out the door. When the door's open, that doesn't mean you run out to the door. What I do is I stand at the door with my new dog. And so when he's there, I'm teaching him, but just because the door's open, that does not mean that's an opening for you to run out. And so I'm teaching him calm mind at the door. And we go out behind me, because they're positional animals. So I invite them into my home in a calm mind. I never let them barrel into my home, because if I do, they're going to match energy. And so that's when you get a fight. They fight with each other. So much happens because energy builds up. It's got to come out. And just like the job, I have a friend, she's going to be on here. She's been in rescue 30-something years. And, I help her when we have cases where the rescues or the fosters, they've got a dog that, they can't really integrate with their other pack, or a fight has happened. So, case in point, that happened. She called me, it was Thursday, and she said, we've got these two pit bulls. They've gotten a fight, and the owner has separated them. And that's a big no. That is because you're creating two different packs. When you separate them, you've got two different packs now. And so what we do is, our first initial instinct is to take them apart, which is the wrong thing to do. Just like with humans, they got to finish it. They got to finish it. Every time I go, and I did this within 45 minutes, I had them back together within 45 minutes, because it's all in changing the humans. When I get there, his sister had died, and this dog is all he has of her. So he was babying this dog and ignoring the dog's bad habits. And so he was blaming it on the other dog. And so when I come there, I see that it was Buster, that was his dog, that was the problem, and not the new dog coming in. And so, once I made him realize, that he needed to be that leader, not coddle, because he suffered a loss as well. I mean, that was his owner, his sister who died. Both of them had suffered a loss together, but they needed to heal together.
So, do you what is your approach when you first meet a dog?
I head up, shoulders back. They know I'm that leader. Usually they respect me. Dogs usually won't even jump on me when I walk in, because they respect that energy that I bring. They crave that energy that I bring. That's why I'm the Dog Whisperette. Yes. Because I don't, how would you put that? I don't manifest it. We manifest a lot of our dog's behaviors because we speak it. What am I trying to say? We manifest it, like when, for example, when your dog is going to jump on you when you come home through the door, on your drive home from work, about what point would you start dreading going into that house, because that dog was going to jump on you? So when you walk in, you're exhibiting that, you're inviting that. That's the word. You're inviting that behavior because of your insecurities and your approach. So if your dog jumps, do something different. Walk on in. Just ignore. If he comes and he's still jumping, what I do, I don't back away because I'm giving him his space. No, I take the space.
There you go.
So I use my knee and I'll put it in their chest, and then I walk them back. I walk them back because I'm not just going to put them, correct it and walk away. I'm going to follow through with it.
There you go. Okay.
So after I do the correction with my knee or whatever, and I walk them back, I wait till they walk away. I don't follow them. I stand, I pick a point. I stand my ground. They walk away. If I walk away, they win.
Sound like you need to do that with some humans. No, couple of humans you can.
I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate this into men. I would be a millionaire because not you wouldn't know how many women ask me, does this work on men? But not one man has asked me, does it work on women? They know we're perfect. That's why.
That's we're perfect.
They know we're perfect.
Right. That is exactly right. I see that your car is beautiful.
Yes.
I love it.
Paragon Printing, guys. They did an awesome job for me. And shout out to them. It's wonderful people. But it's wrapped. If you see me in Chattanooga, give me a honk.
That also, when I see a car, it shows that you truly believe in yourself.
It took me a while, but you're absolutely right. And I have to thank every human and every dog that I have trained to help me get to this point. For the affirmations and the love and the respect. And what I tell people, after I train you, you're in my pack. So I have a really big pack now. And they'll call me up, even if it's 2 years later. I I love it. I love to keep that rapport going. And once I train you, it's a forever commitment from me to you. That it's my guarantee, and I do guarantee. I guarantee one day transformation. Or you don't one day you can go
Yeah,
on.
we really can use this on a couple of humans.
Men,
Need-
yeah,
yeah,
men.
Yeah, one
Hey,
day transformation.
I did try it on my boyfriend. It worked. It worked.
You gotta teach me. Gotta teach me. That'd be good.
He'll say, "You're not going to train me like a dog." Okay. You just don't know.
Yes. I like it. Man.
but and I make it fun. I Every training, and when you'll read my reviews, they'll be like, "It was fun," because why be a drill sergeant? It's balance. If I come in with a joyful heart, you're going to have a joyful heart when I leave. If I come in smiling, you're going to be smiling. And that's the truth. You watch my videos and you just watch the despair on their faces at the initial interview. And then after, this big old smiles, because I changed their lives and in so many ways. And it's just been a blessing and an honor to everyone who has given me a chance and put me on that pedestal. I love you guys. I can't say it any plainer. Thank you, and I hope you support me here as sponsors. I need, you can donate stuff, but it's.
So you said fostering. So you do this like out of your own money?
I do, but
Wow.
most do not, because like I said, usually the rescues who take them in, they get grant money to help with that. So, but now you have some who's like privately owned, they're just trying to help out in any way. Those type, you pretty much have to pay out of your own pocket. And I've had to do that a few times because it's just been like a couple women who, got it off the street and nowhere to take it. And so I'll take it in and, do the training, get the shots, we get them fixed.
Oh, wow. The whole nine.
A whole nine, you have to, because state of law, Tennessee law is a dog cannot be adopted out unless it's fixed. Now, that is a law. That's the only law we have on spay and neuter. And that's what I want to talk about as well. How do we adopt a spay and neuter law? I know Memphis, Tennessee, they require your dogs to be spayed and neutered by 7 months.
But if you do that, would it like dwindle down dog population? I mean, I know that's the goal.
Yes.
But
you're not going to stop it. It don't matter how much you get put up there. There's still going to be those backyard breeders. It's still going to happen, but just not as much. And that they have stricter rules on breeders. You have to pay a yearly fee and you get inspected, because this right here is the product of backyard breeding and inbreeding. Where I got her, there was in the teens, none of them fixed.
Oh man.
She was the smallest. The next day after I got her, she came in heat. So she would have never survived because the next one up was 12 pounds. She was 5. And in dog pounds, that's a lot. 2 pounds is a lot in dog pounds. And that put a fire under me as well, to let these have a voice. She didn't have a voice. She just existed. All 19 of them just existed. And she came with so many insecurities and so much fear. I mean, even if anybody would just look at her, she would defecate. That's how much fear was.
Wow.
But they lived in the country, and these dogs were just left to roam. They weren't, like I said, they just existed. They were her cash cow. And that's what I said, I want to bring that up also about the hoarding situations. And, how it's not always by choice. It's sometimes by circumstance. We get in over our heads and we don't have the money to get out, or we don't have the resources to get out. And so we as a society sit and judge these people instead of coming in and saying, hey, how can we help? And rescues do. They come in, as we've had some really bad ones here recently. I mean, I'm talking in the 20s, 40s that they have found in these homes. And, Some do it because they do it. But some do it, like I said, you have your elderly and you have people who don't have money, but these animals are dropped off onto their property, or, they have such a big heart that they pick them up and then they become like their companion.
Would you what you think about when they bring the pets and they're like for patients who have maybe cancer or just sick patient? Do you what you think about that?
Leashes of Love, and they're actually going to be on my show.
Okay.
Yes, on the 13th or the 24th. I'll let you know. I love it. I absolutely love it, because just like setting out today with my dogs, everybody who walked by smiled.
Yeah.
And they just bring joy.
But see, you not only do your dogs know when they see your dogs, but you have a vibe, a positive vibe as well about yourself. No, as every time I say, I'm like, hey! You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you just your vibe and your frequencies is so, to me, is very positive.
Well, I finally started learning to love myself.
And you can tell.
Yes.
You can tell. Shine on, baby.
Yeah. But okay, guys, we are out of time. But this was
nice.
Wonderful.
Hey, I learned some stuff.
And yes, but like I said, take what you need, leave what you don't, because too much is an overload. So join us. Come lives. Join us every Saturday here. Supposed to be at 3. Sometimes we run a little late, but tune in, because we play jazz and gospel and we talk all day and we just bring positivity.
Yes.
So join me next Saturday at 3.
Good night.
So we're on YouTube and Facebook, WPTP 100.1 FM radio, guys. Thank you. We love you guys. Till next Saturday.